Hey there, Mary Farias here with 5 minutes is better than nothing of personal development. We are finishing up chapter 8, Desire, in my book, How to Study Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. Now, at the end of each chapter, I provide notes on how to study that chapter. So I'm going to read those notes and then we're going to talk about it just a little bit. So this is on page 215 in my book. Notes on how to study chapter 8. Hill tells us everyone has a flock of opinions ready to be wished upon anyone who will accept them. If you are influenced by opinions when you reach decisions, you will not succeed in your undertaking, much less in that of transmuting your own desire into money. Decision. What a simple yet profoundly important concept. Hill takes us through the significance of developing the ability to make sound decisions, as well as to back them up with the faith that they are the correct decisions when made. Join me in the companion video for a discussion on the natural laws of the universe, an understanding of which allows leaders and great decision makers to know that they are making the correct decisions when provided with any choice in life. So, these natural laws, there are 7 of them. And I know there's lots of people who think that there are more laws, but there are 7 major laws in the universe. And these are natural laws that are always there, never fade, never disappoint. They're always there and can be counted on. The other laws are subsidiary laws. They fall under one or more of these major laws. So we've got quite a few that we can talk about here. The law of vibration, everything vibrates, right? Everything is always moving. Nothing is ever at rest. And it's the same with a book. It's the same with our bodies. It's the same with a bowl. It's the same with a glass. It's the same with a pen. It's the same with paper. It's the same with our thoughts. Everything is moving. Everything has a vibration. Okay, the law of vibration. And what happens with the law of vibration is that like attracts like. So there's a law of attraction underneath the law of vibration. So everything vibrates, and then like is attracted to like. So that's when we say, oh, I'm looking for a red car, and I'm looking for a red car. I'm buying a red car. And all of a sudden, we see all these red cars all around. That is the law of vibration and attraction working together to work. Okay. The second law, the law of perpetual transmutation of energy. Everything is energy. That is the major premise here. Everything is energy. Energy can never be created nor destroyed. It only changes forms. So energy is constantly changing form. Think of water. Water is liquid at one temperature, it's solid at another, it's steam at another, and it's just air at another, right? So we have to understand that everything is changing all the time, constantly. Constant is change, right? Our thoughts are energy, and our thoughts move into physical form. So the creative process begins with a thought, an idea, and a picture, and then it moves through the creative process into physical form with and through us. Okay, that's a law of perpetual transmutation. The next is the law of rhythm. There's an ebb and flow to everything. Everything circulates, right? This is evident in the life cycle, and the day is followed by night, in the circulation of blood through our bodies. We we inhale and we exhale. It's a law of rhythm. We see this in the seasons. We see it in reproductive cycles. We see it everywhere. The law of rhythm. And we have the law of relativity. Okay, the law of relativity says that something is big because something else is small. And something that's small is big compared to something that's smaller, right? Everything is relatable, the law of relativity, and everything is relative. So if I am happy, maybe I am happier than I was yesterday, but I'm not as happy as I will be tomorrow, right? There is a law of relativity in there. Everything can be compared. And then we have the law of polarity. Everything has an opposite. right? It can't be an up without a down, an in without an out, and everything is balanced. So there is always an answer if there is a question. There's always a solution if we see a problem. Everything is balanced. Okay. The next is the law of cause and effect, and Emerson calls this the law of laws. This is like the boomerang, right? What you give out, you get back. That's what happens. The law of cause and effect. Every action has a reaction, and that is just true of everything. I clap, you hear a sound, right? Nothing can happen by accident. Everything has a cause. And then there's the law of gender. And the law of gender dictates that there's a male and female side to everything. And there's also a law of gestation that goes along with this, that there's a gestation period for everything. You drop a seed in the dirt, it takes a while for it to grow into a plant and then bear fruit, right? So we have to understand that even our thoughts becoming things, the law of transmutation of energy, there's a law of gender involved in that. Okay, so those are the basic laws of the universe. I hope that is a helpful little overview of it. And I'm glad you joined me through chapter 8 on decision. It's such a great chapter. And tomorrow we begin chapter 9, persistence. I will see you later.